In West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing all cool, shooting some Quidditch hoops outside of the school.
I do a great impression of a hot dog. Hello! If you're new around these parts, my name is Charlie Hopkinson. I am a professional impressionist and stand-up. And today I'm going to teach you how to learn a Severus Snape impression from Harry Potter. I have 2 general videos on YouTube as well as a full Skillshare course, link in the description. Use these alongside this video to help you along with the process. I'm going to take you through the 5 basics, look at what a good and a bad one looks like, and at the end, I'm going to give you a phonetic learning frame to start your impression off. So please drop a like and let's get into it. Alan Rickman is a classically trained actor, and the Snape voice is just an accentuation of his normal voice. He has that standard RP, received pronunciation English accent. So his enunciation of words is very clear, and he has long vowels. The Queen's English. The pitch of Snape's voice is quite low and rumbly, but it's not so low that you really have to strain for it. I have actually seen quite a few good female Snape impressions. If you are a woman and you're trying the Snape impression, then unless your voice is very low, you will still have to strain for that depth. One of the 2 most important aspects of the Snape voice is his rhythm.
He tends to start slow, then mid-sentence he starts to speed up and run his words together, and then finally end slow for that scolding emphasis.
Here's an example.
In this class, I will teach you how to eat an entire rotisserie chicken without your teacher knowing about it.
You nail this rhythm, you're 50% of the way there. The other most important aspect of the Snape impression is the facial expressions. If we take a look at Snape, what do you notice about his facial expressions?
Turn to page 394.
It should be quite clear from his voice that he speaks through his nose. You want to constrict the airflow through your nose. And also, jut out your lower jaw. Just practice jutting out your lower jaw, making that noise. When you're speaking, you want to keep your lip and mouth movement
fairly minimal. There's not much going on around these parts, is there?
First, a thank you, because all the work that has gone into this video has been paid for by today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. They've supported me to make this expensive new style of content. So if you're in the market for a VPN, particularly one that doesn't require a login code, and you want to support the channel, please consider them for your VPN needs. Private Internet Access is available for all operating systems. It's very easy to use and is PCMag's editor's choice. It is the cheapest VPN on the market at $3, and unlike every other VPN on the market, no login is required. It's click and play. Not only does it give you greater internet security, it also allows you to unlock streaming sites from different countries. Say, heaven forbid, Peaky Blinders were taken off your Netflix, you could go to a different country where it's still on and still watch Tommy and Arthur and the gang. I've personally used it in the past to watch The Office, the American Office, when it was taken off British Netflix. So if you're looking for a VPN, you can't go far wrong with Private Internet Access. The second most important part of the Snape impression is that main defect, which is the nasal quality of the voice.
The way you do this is when you're speaking, you constrict the flow of air through the nose.
So that you're only speaking through your mouth.
When you start, you could try by holding your nose.
To try and get the other bits right around it. Then, when you've got the other bits down, you can try to speak nasally without holding your nose. It's never quite as good if you're holding your nose because there is still some air coming through. So if you're cutting off 100% of the air supply, it's not going to sound quite as good. Anyone can learn a Snape impression up to about 80% if they get the nasal quality and the rhythm correct. There are a lot of good and bad Snape impressions out there. To be able to do a very good impression of someone, you need to know what a bad one looks like. When I'm watching them, the hallmarks of a bad Snape impression for me is someone who has got the nasality, but hasn't really nailed the rhythm. That's speeding up and slowing down for emphasis at the right points. It's all very one speed. For example, this is what I think a bad one looks like.
Well, 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 Mr. Potter, our new celebrity. Tell me, Potter, what do you get when you mix Brisbane with worm's tongue? Pity.
Whereas a good impression,
Well, Mr. Potter. Tell me, Potter, what do you get when you mix Brisbane with worm's tongue? Pity.
Here's some starter phrases that you can repeat along with me.
Well, Mr. Potter, our local celebrity. Always. 5 more points from Gryffindor for being an insufferable know-it-all.
In the impressions learning process, Snape is a great example of having a standout defect which defines that voice. It makes the voice more recognizable, which makes it easier to learn, and it gets a good reaction from people when you do it live. Voices of this type are good starter impressions to do. So Snape would be a good choice as a first impression to learn. But you can also take them to the next level by getting the rhythm just right. When you have the rhythm just right, you can pinch those rhythms from those quotes that you've taken it from and put them in different sentences for comedic effect, like at the beginning with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, don't forget to vote for the next tutorial in the comments, but practice along with this learning frame to start you off on your impression.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing all cool, shooting some Quidditch hoops outside of the school. Until a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. The Marooners, they called themselves. Now, I got in one little fight and my mum got scared and said, "You're moving with your auntie and your uncle in Bel-Air."